Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 90 Degree Show hosted by the Marching Podcast and Blog Talk Radio. Advice may be misleading, but examples are always clear. And here's your host, the Phantom Podcaster himself, Joe Beard.
Good evening and welcome to the 90 Degree Show. I'm your host, Joe Beard, and happy to be of service tonight. I hope you guys can hear me. Today is, November 15th, 2015, 5 o'clock on the West Coast and 8 o'clock on the East Coast. We appreciate all those listening in live, whether in podcast form, whether through iTunes, listening to it through Blog Talk Radio, YouTube, wherever you are on the interweb this evening. If you decide you feel you like the show, then we appreciate a donation to the network if you feel so in your heart, of course. Just simply go to themarchingpodcast.com and click on the donate button to help improve the show and help build our scholarship fund. Okay, I hope everybody can hear me. Just let me do a little quick test right quick. I'm going to bring, I think this is Christy. Christy, is this you?
Yes, this is me.
What's going on? Good evening, Christy. How you doing?
I'm good. How's it going?
Doing pretty well. Can you hear me okay? Everything normal sounding to you?
Yeah, you sound fine to me.
Okay, cool. While we got the Wu-Tang and the Jizza, the Genius in the background, I think everything's okay. But again, Thanks again for calling in, Christy. Like I said, if you guys like the show, you can donate to the show if you feel so. We'll also start sending. We have a new link now from PayPal. We're really excited about. We can start sending that link out, and you can donate to the Marching Podcast. Donate 50 cents. It's all good. You can just click on the link and do it. So it'll be all good. Real convenient, as they say. Again, it's time to bring in the wonderful people into our show. I'm sure Rashad will be calling in. Welcome the great Christian Walker, again, the owner and founder there of the FifthQuarterForum.com, the mecca, if you will, of keeping your ear to the street with all the HBCU news out in the world. So you guys, make sure you guys check that out, the FifthQuarterForum.com. Okay? So thanks again for listening tonight. Tonight we're going to talk about the SEAC Championship, Miles and Albany State. Turn the music down here. And I was not able to find any clips of the CIAA, but again, that's the beauty of this show. If you were a part of this CIAA experience or you were there and you're listening to the show, please call in at the number you see there on your screen, 718-664-6025. Give us the lowdown, break us down about all that happened there at the CIAA championship. Also saw immediately they said the fifth with Southern and Alabama A&M, but I didn't see Alabama A&M on any of the clips of anything. So I wanted to talk about that tonight. Did you pretty much see the same thing this week, Christy? I just saw the SEAC championship. What did you get to check out this week?
Well, to be honest, I didn't get to see a whole bunch this weekend, but I think there's quite a few things going on in the band world that I think are really interesting. I mean, we've got the young lady at Alcorn getting being initiated in her in her either her section or her freshman ritual or whatever, and getting beat up, and it's shown all on camera. And then we've also got Mr. Brown at Shaw University,
Yes.
Yeah, we've got some stuff going on now.
Yeah. So I'm glad that you're on, and if anyone else is listening, you're welcome to call in. Our other outstanding panelist is here now, the owner and founder of Block Band Music and Publishing, Rashad Waters. What's going on tonight, Rashad?
What's happening?
Same old, man.
Good stuff. Rousey lost yesterday.
Yes. Shout out to the brother that shared it on the internet. I don't know if it's legal or whatever's going on, but I really was excited that I could sit here. It was about like 8 minutes or something, but got to check out the fight. Let me just say, she can't really talk to Floyd. She can't really like have the whole thing with Floyd anymore, because that girl boxed her out. So not to say that she would fight Floyd, but man, that girl was just jab, run. And then, of course, nobody was saying she was running or anything. That was all skill and defense. You know what I'm saying? But man, that was really something. Chrissy, did you see that fight?
Yeah, I saw the clip. I don't know if it was legal either, but I mean, I'm not into boxing or MMA or that's not really my cup of tea. But I had to see what everybody was talking about, and yeah, she got dealt with.
Yeah, she really did.
Yeah. From time to time.
What'd you say, Rashad?
I said, I guess even the greatest has to lose from time to time,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that sets up maybe a rematch for, I mean, it was exciting though. Good for them, because all the rest of them, weren't exciting. But shout out to, I think Holly Holm, is that her name? She was fighting, and then it's a trip like when they try to be like gracious afterwards, and then she's like waiting on her to like shake her hand. It's just like, girl, just go. I'm sure she appreciates it. So just go ahead, go. You know what I'm saying? Just, they had to like bring her back to her senses. Don't shake her hand. Don't worry about it. But yes, outstanding. So glad to have you guys on tonight. Like Chrissy just said, Rashad, it's a lot of news, a lot of interesting stuff to actually talk about tonight. I did see the SEAC Championship halftime show with Miles and Albany State, like one of my favorite matchups of all time. Didn't see the CIAA, but pretty much, is that the same for you? Is that what you got to see this week?
Did you go to the CIAA, Rashad? I mean, the CIAA.
No, I didn't do much of anything. Oh, so that was the CIAA championship was here in Durham.
Yeah, it was at Durham County Stadium.
Oh, okay. My mom was saying something about something, but I wasn't. I didn't quite catch it.
Yeah, we'll bring it up. I know it was Winston-Salem and Bowie State. Shout out to brother Michael Magruder, Dr. Magruder as now, and Winston-Salem State. I remember some weeks back, Christy was like, "Yo, what's up, Winston-Salem State?" So we had a chance to hear from him, but we don't have the cameras everywhere yet. But again, if someone saw the game be, outstanding, you can call in and let us know. I do know, I'm trying to find out the standings here for this year. I do know that Miles won the SEAC, and we'll get into that in a minute here. I'll try to find that information later. But yeah, so I
did see a clip of I saw a clip of actually Southern playing Order My Steps, and I think that might have been the first time that arrangement was put out there or performed.
Yes, sir. That's why I was late to the meeting, and that's why I was late to the call. Listening to that.
What's interesting? People were I've heard mixed responses on it. I mean, I have my personal opinion, but I've heard mixed about it, and I didn't think it was that bad. I thought it was a pretty good sounding thing. I thought they executed it pretty well. I mean, I heard a lot of flack about the arrangement, and I'm just happy that Southern was playing with some dynamics other than Forte and Fortissimo. I was just happy about that. So,
that's what's up. Well, let's go ahead and pay the bills right quick. And then we could definitely start out with that, because I saw it too, and I saw a lot of people commenting on it, but I didn't listen to it just because I saw Alabama A&M wasn't there. I didn't go too far. I read another article. I wanted to dive into an article that shout out to Curtis Tarver. Curtis Tarver of 80 Minutes of Regulation. We've chopped it up with him on here. He had a nice little piece about the power of Saturday. Kind of wanted to tie in with that tonight. Christy talked about Alcorn, and we talked about Shaw. I know we bring that. We did have somewhat of a resolution, if you will, with University of Missouri, and also tying in hashtag Silent Showtime as well. All of those things. So I want to talk to you guys about that tonight. I want to bounce off those things to you. Shout out to University of North Carolina and wherever Rashad may work. I don't want to get Christy or Rashad in trouble, but you guys are pioneers, are on the board, if you will, in our craft. And I do want to introduce some of these topics so the public knows something about how you feel about it, about how all of us feel. I do think it's important for us to talk about it. But, yes, I don't want to endanger anything, and I hope all those people understand that as well. You can't have Rosa Parks somewhere and just have her just as the figurehead. She got to be schooling us on some stuff sometimes, too. Understand. I'm just saying, because, last couple of weeks, you were like, hey, you put them disclaimers out there. But, yeah, just making sure everything's all good. This is definitely important. And shout out to all the people that are listening live. Our numbers as far as live have definitely increased. So it seems like it's the same folks that are out there listening. So shout out to you all. Give you guys a round of applause like our triple platinum plus people. So we appreciate all the love and stuff. So let me go ahead and pay the bills. I'm going to mute the microphone so we can finally get into all of our topics that we want to talk about tonight. Tonight's show is presented by, on Periscope, J. Ryan Rankin and The Most Unknown, and also HBCUbands.com and TheEdge1.com. Again, we saw some of those clips from Southern, and Gerard was there as well. I usually read about, if you're interested in becoming a sponsor or patron, at the end, at the last commercial break, but tonight I want to bring it up at the front just to say to start to pub your business. You can do it here in the Marching Podcast. Again, we talked about Double Time last week. We brought them on. I want to bring it up at the forefront tonight because Facebook, just a quick lesson about social media. Between Facebook and Twitter, Facebook uses what they call algorithms. And that's a lot of equations that come up with an output that's going to give you the most efficient answer, okay? Twitter does not. So basically what happens is with Facebook, who your friends are and who you know, and based on what your settings are, certain people see what you post, certain people don't. Even if you got friends and you ain't hollered at them in a minute, you may not see what they post for a long time. You just only see the people that you like recently. Well, that's the algorithm that Facebook has. So basically, I have, all of my friends. I used to invite just all of my friends to all of the shows, and they started cutting back on that. They were like, yo, you can't invite all them people to, one of your events. So they cut it down to, 500. Now, today, they cut it down to 248. So a lot of folks may not have gotten the event notice today about the show. What happens now is that past 248, I need to then boost the post, i.e. pay for the advertising bucks so that we spread the word, or that everyone that I know at least will enable that algorithm so that they'll at least see the show. You may not get specifically invited, and that ain't me, but that's Facebook, but hopefully you'll start to see some of the actual posts that the show is on or we're actually broadcasting. So I say that to also to all the sponsors, thank you again as well for your donation, because that is going to be part of what we do when we boost the posts for the show. We're going to start sending out and start putting some money behind these posts so that, everybody sees them. And then who knows, more people outside of my friends are able to see the posts and maybe to join. But, yeah, Facebook, they all about them algorithms, and they got that board. And then, it's tough, if you don't like what they do, because, we've agreed to all the rules and regulations of being a part of Facebook, So they can change those algorithms whenever they want. And That's why we see so many ads and so many things like that. But I want to put that out there to know that you sponsors are also helping to pay for when we boost these things, and we're going to start putting that money towards boost and post on Twitter as well. Twitter, again, does not have the same algorithm restrictions, but with Twitter, it's usually more about when you're logging in. So, like, if you go to someone's Twitter, you can, like, look at all the things they tweet, but as far as seeing something live, you have to be logged in when they tweet that information out to you. So we're going to do some things so that more eyes are able to do that as well. So, again, wanted to take care of some of the business. Thanks again for all the sponsors. Brought to you Liquid Effects Photography, the Edge One Productions, Block Band Music and Publishing, bandhead.org, HBCUbands.com. Thank you for your time. Let's take the time to hear from them now.
This is Curtis from 80minutesofregulation.com. From referees whistle to drum majors whistle and back, your source for sports and marching and athletic music. You're listening to Chopping It Up on the Marching Podcast Network.
From photo shoots to graduation pictures, from probates to band footage, from pageants to yard shows, there's only one team you can count on, the Edge One Productions. Visit theedge1.com and trust me, you won't be disappointed.
Chopping It Up is a podcast of one-on-one interviews with positive role models that have a connection through music and or education. Chopping It Up is all about inspiring our youth for a great future and providing a roadmap on how to get there. We also chop it up to give insight to anyone looking for information or hope in their endeavors. Chop it up with us on Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern at blogtalkradio.com/marchingpodcast. Chopping It Up, changing the world through positive interaction.
Band directors, have you ever found yourselves in this situation? Showtime is quickly approaching. Your budget is quickly disappearing. Your music choices are narrowing. The equipment condition is wearing and your stress level is mounting. Stop what you're doing and contact Block Band Music and find out how we've got you. Check www.blockbandmusic.com, providing music, equipment, gear, and accessories to show style, core style, and traditional bands worldwide.
What if there was a Facebook for bands? Wait a minute, there is. Bandhead.org. Bandhead.org is a social network for HBCU show bands. You can create your own profile and post videos, photos, and comments on Bandhead.org. Need somewhere to post events, audition schedules, job postings? Check out bandhead.org. Are you recruiting for talent? Go to bandhead.org. Bandhead.org, a social network for bands.
Dean Mayo Katzman, CEO and publisher of Halftime Magazine, and you are listening to the 90 Degree Show here on the Marching Podcast Network.
We're back. 718-664-6025 is the number that you see there on your screen. I like to bring a little attention to the number that we got there playing under my voice. Thank you guys. Hopefully you can still hear me. That's Double Time Entertainment, y'all. That's their song. That's their theme song. Double Time Entertainment. You may know about them. Shout out to you. We are still putting audio version together. I thought I'd give it a little live action here. They've worked with BC, Yamaha, Ludwig, Honda Motor Company, and featured on CNN with Lifetime Network, Bama State Style. Also, orchestrate battle of bands, marketing and promotion. Also, the official media team for the Queen City Battle of Bands, Charlotte, North Carolina. Join us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and now on here. Music levels are noteworthy, right? Double Time Entertainment. Shout out to you. I really like the song, man. Shout out to you, Barney, as I bring Christy and Rashard back in. 718 again, 646-025 live with us. Thanks again for listening. Week 11 is towards the end of the year. And like Chris said last week, it's gone by really, really fast. Now we've got a couple of these championship matchups, a couple of rivalry games, and then we've got a decent little break, if you will, over December. And then we've got the Honda, and I'm trying to make it to the
we've
Honda.
Got the celebration. We got the Celebration Bowl.
Oh, the Celebration Bowl. That's right. So we definitely want to got out for that, and that's going to be the SWAC and the MEAC. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm really excited about that. So we definitely have to have a show about that. And I'm sure, hopefully, it's a battle of the bands. I'm sure it's a really, really big celebration. And then the Honda.
Right.
And I'll definitely make sure I am trying to come out there this year. I'm putting stuff in order, plans now, so I can see you guys. Please send me that information about the fifth quarter suite, because I know Jackson State has a suite, the Boom, the alumni has a suite. So I may just pay for both and just be happy. And hopefully,
I mean, you be wasting your money paying for the Jackson State one. No offense, but you're not gonna be with band heads in the Jackson State one. You're gonna be with regular alumni that don't. You need to be with your people, really.
But them is my people. The Boom. I don't. Well, you know what? I don't know. I'm gonna make it happen. I'm gonna definitely make it happen. Cause there's folks I ain't seen in a minute. But man, I swear when I moved out here, I just did not know it was gonna be that hard. It's the time zone, y'all. But I don't want to give too many excuses. I'm just saying it's the time zone, man. That's what I'm gonna blame it on, y'all. So right quick, just let me. I'll say what I saw with the halftime show at Albany State and Miles. I think just off gate, people would just say, okay, Miles is gonna win. Okay, so basically that's kind of what happened. So there wasn't a whole lot to that. But Albany State is good. They're really, really good. They're just not advancing as fast as Miles has. You know, they had a good show. You know, they sound good in the stands. They actually sound really good in their show. It's just they have the maturity issue. And I know that we talked about this a couple years ago, Rashad, but like intonation, you know, you have that intonation. It sounds like, you know, you're younger because you don't have the ear or like, you know, your sound. So Albany State has those issues. And then that hurts them going against Miles. You still feel the anger with the rival. Because, dude, 2012, I was like, man, I really like this. That was like my favorite fifth, right? And I really enjoyed it. And it seems like they've just kept it going. Football team with the bands, whatever. But this time it definitely boiled over, you know, more than what we were expecting. So Albany State, we just been talking about like transitions and like death marching on some of the drills. They death marched too much on their drill. They were like death marching in company fronts. And I was like, yeah, that's too much. That's not like appealing. That's not making anything like tight like that. They did similar to A&T, had like a transition from like their dance feature to the block band. They kind of like walked into it. Not the same as what A&T did, but they tried to do like something similar to that. And I thought it was good. But it's just the sound. You know what I mean? The sound, it just doesn't stay consistently throughout. And I just thought that hurt them. So then, of course, when Miles came on the field, you know, they starting to have that pattern, that neck intro. That's like they thing now.
Yeah.
So they get kind of, hyped with it a little bit. And then they come on the field, and then they're so much louder. It's just like the difference in sound. You know what I mean? It's something that Albany's got to fight. But shout out to Albany, and shout out to the state of Alabama. Like, where all this stuff is coming from Alabama? Y'all got a battle going on. With Brother Leonard and the Stillman seemed like, they were on track. You guys got a nice little battle in your state, with this band thing. So, don't get behind Albany because you're close. You look good. I even saw some quotes on the YouTube saying people saying like the numbers are dwindling. Like, it's hard to, retain some members, which is probably an issue in a lot of places. Mm-hmm. But definitely, I think that Albany State is on track. They just don't have the nuts and bolts of what Miles is doing. And then Miles is like on, they had an attitude. They got the swag, and nothing about their performance jumped out at you. But they just had a good tempo, and it was really, really nice. That was the other thing about Albany State. The tempo of their drill was kind of slow. So it was like, okay, everybody hit 90s with that. It was just too slow. I do want to bring up really, really fast, again, the rivalry was angry, and then it bled over to the football field, and then it bled over after the game. There was a little bit of a scuffle, if you will.
Oh, boy.
Yes, at Albany State and Miles. I just say it's a scuffle because, we don't want to say it was like any more than what the hockey players be doing, But it was definitely, I guess, something just to bring up. So essentially the news that I heard, and shout out to our homegirl Ashley. I know she's always doing her thing. She was basically saying that apparently, the Albany State people were upset. They lost the game. We here are saying, even the band lost. Just wasn't good to be Albany. And I think one of the football players, from what I understand, and correct me if I'm wrong, either the football player or another member of the band was upset, and where they were at the time and the place, they needed to walk through the ranks of through Miles's band. Okay.
See, this can never end well. That can never end well.
No. Usually, for all the folks that aren't familiar with what happens, it's kind of they're like testing the crabs. And sorry if I'm not supposed to say crabs on the air, but like they're testing the freshmen or the white shirts to say, hey, you don't let nobody come through our. You better have some chest. You better have some heart coming in this band. If someone steps through here, you rough them up. They told us to kill them, but I mean we didn't take it that far. But they're like, don't do that. Just make sure they don't break the ranks. Some people like just respectfully be like, hey, yes sir, we don't, But so it's just really a discretion type of a thing. Apparently, the guy or whatever went through, and this is according to Miles' side. Of course, I haven't heard anything from Albany's side. They went through the clarinet section. So if we extrapolate that for all the people again who don't know about breaking the ranks, the clarinet section is not the rank to break. The rank to break. Sorry, you break through where it's like dudes, where it's a lot of guys. So like it's the test where it's like, hey boy, usually girls don't really be getting all crunk and like fighting, punching in the face like that. So when they broke,
what? Okay,
the female side, and I'm not saying like no disrespect, but it's like when they broke the female side with a dude, it was like, okay, what do you expect, man? You expect one of these girls to hit you in the face. Well, Miles definitely was pissed. And there's a couple, I think, videos. Shout out to Kevin Poteet. He posted part 3.
Kevin, messy boots, Kevin. I love him.
I know. Posted 3 videos I got to check out. But basically that is the word on the street from what I heard, breaking a lot of the ranks with the females. So maybe, it couldn't have maybe been that serious, but some of the people took exception to a guy, and I guess supposedly being bigger than all the people in that particular section, breaking their ranks somewhat disrespectfully. So
there wasn't a fight. Is that what you're saying?
I'm sorry. Say that again.
So there wasn't a fight, or it was just a brouhaha. It just a lot of noise. I mean, did something happen?
Well, there were punches swung. I don't know the casualty rates, but definitely from this video, it was a fight, Rashad. Like, it was 3 parts. So it was about
Lord, let me go to YouTube.
How did it go from walking through the clarinet section to who actually threw a punch or something? Because you just said, that probably the clarinets probably didn't do anything. So I'm like, all right, so there wasn't anything.
Right. So my fault. Thank you. I didn't make that clear. So the guys, and when I said Miles took exception, that meant all the dudes at Miles definitely felt that they were being disrespectful in that, trying to cross a bunch of females. So the guys, all the dudes who were probably ready to fight anyway, were ready to unleash, So that's basically, what happens. Definitely when you see this video, I mean, you see they're fighting. You know what I mean? And it was enough Albany State people around to have this dude's back, or so like he wasn't murdered. Because, it was... it was the ranks, you know what I mean? And if you're, it is dangerous if you try to do something stupid like that. You know what I mean? It could be bad.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But there were
and Miles is a pretty big band right now, so, gosh.
Yeah. So shout out to Ashley and shout out to all the folks that, let me know what's going down. I got up this morning, and I get up early anyway, so for me, I usually see... it's like maybe 7 or 8 o'clock for you guys sometimes. So they were already up talking about it this morning. And definitely one girl from Miles was mad. She posted, this dude trying to walk around a bunch of females. Like, she was mad, boy. So,
that wasn't Ashley?
Well, no, I saw the girl who had posted. It wasn't Ashley, but Ashley had a little post too. She had a long post too, but basically, that rivalry is much more intense. So put them in the Battle of the Bands in 2 weeks, and you'll sell some money. Or you can sell it, and you'll be like, the rivalry, Miguel, we got to end it, you know what I'm saying? And it wouldn't be too much of a band battle, but it would be exciting to talk about, you know what I'm saying?
No, it would not. Just kidding.
But yeah, I just definitely thought that was something. So it's serious between Miles and Albany. Who knows? That might be one of the hottest rivalries right now in black college sports, including the band and the football team right now. It might be like Duke, Carolina right now. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of all I had to say about the SEAC. Shout out to you. Miles did win the football game again, so they are the SEAC champions. And then looking here, I'll try to find this CIAA information. I don't know why it's taking me so long to do that. But apparently, we'll find out who won. Oh, here it is right here. Looks like Winston-Salem State beat Bowie State 17-14 to have the CIAA crown. So shout out to them as well. We have some time left here in the first segment. I kind of wanted to roll into what we I guess not the smoothest transition, if you will. But I know, Christy, you brought us some things that I wanted to get into towards the end. Unless you guys had anything else band-wise to talk about. Rashad, did you guys have anything to say about anything else that went on this week?
Yeah, I got some stuff. Chris, you got some stuff?
Well, the only thing I have is I wanted to ask y'all what y'all did think about Order My Steps.
Okay. So you want to go there now, Joe, or go ahead?
Well, I didn't get to see it. And then, when I saw Order My Steps, I was like, so I didn't.
You not a fan of gospel?
And they did sing the last note, Joe. They sang the last note, or next to last note.
See. But when I first saw it, I thought that was like part of the battle. So I was like, oh my God, Southern threw a gospel song at him. So I didn't listen to it. I didn't. But please, Rashad, please tell me about it though, because I'm gonna listen to it after the show.
I really enjoyed it. I mean, I really did. I really thought the arrangement was done very well. I like how he, like for example, towards the end, it was like the trumpet section really represented the entire the entire choir, and then he used the rest of the band in order to create, counter melodies and, provide the chorus, the instrumentation behind the ensemble. That was kind of pretty interesting how he did that, and a lot of really interesting things in the mellophones and baritones going on. The chords were really nice. They were nice and subdued. I thought it was a good look for Southern, and I really think that Southern has come a long way in their sound. I remember running up against Southern, years and years ago, gosh, but I remember, that they would basically, if it were a slow song, they basically would just have somebody come out there and sing it, and they would get house there. But really, as far as the arrangement itself, it was really nothing to write home about at all. It was just to perform, the overall execution of it was really well. But this song was, really good. So, I assume that Brian Simmons arranged that since he was the one that was standing in front of the band. So I definitely have to give him props for doing a great job with that song. So I'll give props to Southern on that.
Let me just I'll give a round of applause. So I think it was his birthday this week. And I have him on Facebook, and people shouting out his birthday or whatever. And then he put a post, and he was like 24 years or something, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, what happened 24 years ago, brother? And he does look young, but he's really 24. Like, man, that's I think that's outstanding just because, he's of the position he has. But at 24, man, wow. I'm just thinking about when I was 24, man. I wasn't, 24 was, let's just say, not the greatest of ages, but that definitely shows a lot of maturity. But I was like, no, I even put on there, no way you 24, man. But just kind of now looking at his photos now and I was like, wow, he does look young. So shout out to you, man, if you are listening. I definitely have sent him and the other folks, a lot of band directors, as far as getting them up for interviews, and we'll start that push again in February when Chopping It Up opens back up. But shout out to him, man. That just reminds me about him and about Darius Austin and about Gregory Johnson, young guy from FAM who's going around with the petition trying to get marching band recognized as a sport. These are some young brothers, man. And they're stepping out front and doing those things at a very young age. So they should be commended for that. It's really exciting to see. Christy, did you have anything else for us?
Well, I liked Southern's rendition of Order My Steps, and but people on my timelines were trashing it. Like, I heard very little positive about that. People didn't like the arrangement. They thought it was like doing too much. It was too jazzy or something. Those are the kinds of things that I heard. Like I said at the beginning of the show, I'm just happy they used dynamics. Because, you got them actually using, I heard some mezzo fortes and some mezzo pianos in there, and I didn't know how to act. Because, hey, I'm all for Ignatz when it's needed. Trust me, I'm all for the Ignatz and the forte and the fortissimo and the fortissimo. But it kind of took me aback. So I thought it was good. It didn't bother me.
I want to check it out. I'm not really familiar with the song either. So I want to kind of, I want to check it out. But yeah, I did see a lot of. That's what made me look. I know I'm not really familiar with a lot of those songs. But now, especially moving to California, you don't ever hear anything like it. You guys remember on the movie Pee Wee Herman? Remember he was on the phone and he stepped out. He's like, the stars at night, because you could. And then the people responded. Do y'all remember that? The Pee Wee Herman movie?
Yes.
There were two of them, and I don't remember this scene that you're talking about.
So on the first one, he was in Texas, and he got on the phone, and he had called a girl. He was like, yo, I'm in Texas. And he was like, listen, and he's like, the stars at night. And then, of course, the people responded. You could do the same thing down south. Somebody could jump out and say, God is good. And someone will say, all the time. And then somebody say, all the time. And then somebody say, God is good. You could do that. You can't do that out here. Like, you know what I'm saying? So that's just those little things I miss. I probably would have heard the song if I was still living in Nashville, but it's a little bit different.
But you know what, though? There ain't no excuse for that because that song is not exactly new. I mean, I feel like that song came out in like 98, 99 because it was on the Wow 99 Gospel compilation that I wore out.
Ow. So who sings the song? Who sings the song?
It's the Gospel Music Workshop of America. They have a choir, and I'm pretty sure that's the version that I know.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah.
Joey, you might as well just stop giving excuses for Chrissy because she ain't got no chill, bro. She gonna let you have it every time, man. You might as well just. One of the reasons I was actually interested in that song is actually my mom is a descant soprano, and so she actually sings that song at our church, and so I definitely wanted to hear how Southern, did the song.
Oh, so wait a minute, what church is that?
Peace Missionary Baptist off of Highway 55 in Durham, not far from North Carolina Central.
Oh, okay.
I'll holler at you later. Okay, I'll holler at you about that. Okay.
That's right, Rashad. Because you also sing in the choir as well.
Me, my father, and my mother, we all sing.
Ooh, that's tight.
Let me find out you sing. Okay.
Yeah, Rashad, man, we were talking about that, I think, in the director series, Rashad, being in the men's chorus. So you guys definitely
I know you all these years, and I didn't know you could sing. That's all right.
I didn't say I could sing. I just said I do sing.
Okay.
There's a difference.
Right. That's what's up. So, right quick, let's. I'm gonna take the commercial break, and then I'm gonna use Barney's music for double time as a transition as we go out. And when we come back, I think do you guys get all you want to say about the bands this week?
Yeah, pretty much.
I got plenty more to say about bands.
But just not from this week, though, right?
Oh, no, I guess I'm still from this week. The only thing I said was order my steps.
Okay. Well, that's what's up.
Let him do his analysis.
That's right. That's what I'm saying. We got to get that on. So we'll do that in the second segment. We'll come back, and then we'll definitely dive into these topics. Alcorn, you got Howard, University of Missouri, just a lot of perspective things. Some follow-up from last week. And, again, you as well, 718-664-6025. You can call in. I'm going to mute Christy and Rashad's microphone so we can do the commercials. You're listening to the 90 Degree Show. It's week 11, getting towards the end of the year, y'all. Thanks again for listening. We'll be back.
Hi, this is Erica Jones from A Social Life, and you are listening to the 90 Degree Show here on the Marching Podcast Network.
From photo shoots to graduation pictures, from probates to band footage, from pageants to yard shows, there's only one team you can count on, the Edge One Productions. Visit theedge1.com, and trust me, you won't be disappointed.
Band directors, have you ever found yourselves in this situation? Showtime is quickly approaching. Your budget is quickly disappearing. Your music choices are narrowing. The equipment condition is wearing and your stress level is mounting. Stop what you're doing and contact Block Band Music and find out how we've got you. Check www.blockbandmusic.com, providing music, equipment, gear, and accessories to show style core style and traditional bands worldwide.
What if there was a Facebook for bands? Wait a minute, there is. Bandhead.org. Bandhead.org is a social network for HBCU show bands. You can create your own profile and post videos, photos, and comments on Bandhead.org. Need somewhere to post events, audition schedules, job postings? Check out Bandhead.org. Are you recruiting for talent? Go to Bandhead.org. Bandhead.org, a social network for bands.
This is Janice Craig Hartsfield, proud Spelman College alumni, class of 1964, and you're listening to the 90 Degree Show here on the Marching Podcast Network.
Everyone, we're back. Thanks for listening. 718-664-6025. You can call in and let us know what happened for you this week. We're coming back with hashtag PMN, Purple Marching Machine. Shout out to Brother Snipes and shout out to Brother Knowles. Both chopped it up with them here on the network. You guys can check out those interviews. Rolling with Marching Podcast. Okay. You guys might have heard the Chopping It Up commercial that Christy does voiceover this week for. Shout out to Ollie Liddell. We will be chopping it up with him this week, and that will be the season finale, if you will, for the 2015 Chopping It Up season, and then we're going to start chopping it up again in 2016 in March. So that will be the list on the network. So college football season, it's the 90 Degree Show here. Transition over through the holidays into the Honda. After the Honda comes, then we start to chopping it up in the off season, and we chop it up all the way up to April. Then we'll hear about the National Signing Day for marching bands and our wonderful high school students that will get scholarships to attend and march in the band. And the following year, we'll have the Director Series podcast. Rashad and I are still talking. We may be still in the works with Dr. Davenport. He may join us, and we may have another expert, and then it'll be the four of us. So basically, we're going to continue to make sure you guys get that book. I was about to say, I always tear up the name of the book, Practical Techniques for Building Your Marching Band, High School Marching Band, there with Dr. Davenport's book. So we'll always have him on as well, but then we'll add another person for that expertise for the Director Series. I'm going to unmute you guys' microphone. And then again for 2016, we'll then be back with the fifth year of the fifth season, the fifth series, if you will, with the 90 Degree Show here on the Marching Podcast Network. So we got stuff mapped out finally as far as our programming. Really appreciate your support. Really appreciate for all you listening. Without you, all of this wouldn't be possible. Okay, and that's not cliche. We definitely have patterned things because of our numbers and our feedback and things that we've heard, meeting people like Christy and Rashad and all the folks that help us support the network. Is definitely evolving into something. So we want to keep the train rolling. And for all you listeners, make sure you spread the word. Keep it consistent so then you guys are more familiar about what's going on. So definitely we'll have the season finale there with the Chopping It Up show with Ollie. It is a two-part joint. So part one will be this upcoming Thursday, and then part two will be next week, Tuesday. Or not next week, but the following Tuesday And that will conclude the 2015 season. Chop It Up. Be back in 2016. Okay. Rashawn, back to you, man. Had to do that really fast. I'll give you the floor about what happened with you and bands you saw this week.
Okay, so the three things I saw, I did see Miles College's halftime show. I did see the fifth quarter between Texas Southern and Alcorn, and I also saw Prairie View A&M show from a Battle of the Bands. I'm not sure when that was. I'm not sure if it was this week. I saw that the video was posted 2 hours ago, so I'm not sure. But I do want to comment on that because I did not see them perform a halftime show against Alcorn last week. So starting out with Miles College, I just want to say real quick, I didn't see anything about a fight or anything like that. The only one comment I have for them, I thought their show was really good. I think they have a very good balance. I did see the show from the back. It wasn't anything spectacular, but it was a very solid, show. The one thing I have for them is that, I want you guys, or I would suggest that you guys spend a little bit more time helping the tubas to sustain their notes at the beginning. If you listen to talking, so the low brass, the entire low brass section has the, da, da, and the tubas are an octave lower, and the low brass is holding the counts. Low brass is holding it out. Da, da, but the tubas are just going da. So it sounds like da, da, instead of the tubas holding it out a little bit longer so that that sustain, lasts that whole time. If you listen to the recording of that, you'll hear that definitely. Okay, so that's one thing about Miles College. I did watch a lot of the fifth quarter battle between Texas Southern and Alcorn. I was not excited about it, honestly. I don't know, maybe it was just a different camera, but Alcorn definitely did not sound like they did against Prairie View.
What?
Yeah, and, they sounded pretty good against Prairie View, but this time it's kind of like I wasn't really feeling that. There was a lot with both bands. I think the person that Periscope kind of said it the best. It was kind of like a tie. I don't necessarily agree with that, but he was saying that, both bands had their hits and misses, and that was definitely the case. Mm-hmm. Both bands were very similar. There was a lot of out of tune playing, a lot of phrasing issues. With Alcorn, they put on the what's the name of that song? The Hills by Ken. I did not feel that at all. And, I was watching somebody's comments on it, and it's like there's something about this arrangement. I just can't put my finger on it. And I can put my finger on it. The problem is it's not how the song goes.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
The beginning of it was great, like, oh, okay, that's great. But everything after that, it's like that's not really how the song goes. It just, there's like a little break in the music, and then it, goes to the next part. That's how it goes. That's not how they did it. And some of the chords, I don't know if the chords are wrong so much as maybe they were just bringing out some notes in the chord that weren't really all that important. So that was definitely a loss for Texas, for Alcorn. But then Texas Southern responded with something that was just as equally not as good. I don't even know what they played.
Fish sandwich at best?
Yes, ma'am, definitely.
Oh, okay, okay.
Phrasing was an issue for both bands, particularly if you listen to Texas Southern play, what is the name of that song? Say, Say, Say. I thought that was a great musical choice. Say, 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 which is Michael Jackson and Paul McCartney. Say, Say, Say what you want. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's a great song. It's a great song, but then, this is not how you play it. You don't go, say, 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 that's how they played it. Listen to the recording. Say, say, say. It's like, come on. Play more than one note in a breath, guys. And that type of playing is going back and forth. I would definitely, to wrap it up, I would definitely give the edge to Texas Southern. When Texas Southern was at their best, they sounded really, really solid. There was a lot of pure, powerful sound coming through that I didn't really hear quite as much from Alcorn. And I think that, Joe, you would probably appreciate the fact that I think Texas Southern is smaller than Alcorn, but at times, they did appear to be more powerful. So this is kind of Texas Southern's claim to fame there. So
Yeah.
L, give the win to them, but L to both.
Wow.
Lastly, I just want to comment on Prairie View. Like I said, I saw their performance from a Battle of the Bands recently. I didn't get the chance to see them against Alcorn last week on the field. So I really enjoyed the performance. I thought they sounded very good. Attacks and releases are very good. I think they made Texas on the field. It would have been nice if the announcer said, "Hey, this is Texas," because I don't really know what that was. I guess it was Texas, but I'm not sure. I mean, it wasn't bad. I just couldn't see it from that perspective. My issue with Prairie View right now is that they need a little bit more tuba sound in order to balance out some of that brass that they have. But the show was decent. One thing. Two things. Drum majors, get it together, guys. Get it together. There's too many really, really tight drum major lines. You know, when you look at Bethune-Cookman or Jackson or many others, where you can see these guys are all clones of each other. And so for you guys to go out there and really do some good moves but not be together, or even as you're marching, you know, you're not in the same place. That's pretty clear. You guys got to tighten that up some. And lastly, come on, Rashad, what is that? To baritones, shoot. Oh, man. I think I may have forgotten whatever it is that I wanted to say. But overall, I did enjoy that. Just tighten up on the drum majors and give me a little bit more too. So that is my analysis for the weekend.
That's cool, man. So when you say it's that Prairie View, you say the Prairie View needs to have more tuba to balance out the brass?
Yeah, it's one thing about the type of sound that they're trying to generate is that it can be kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? It's hard to explain, but when you're trying to sound like Prairie View does, if you don't have the tubas to balance it, it doesn't have the weight that it needs to have. You know.
Okay.
So they need a little bit more. Go ahead.
There's still something with as far as the pyramid is concerned, as far as is basically is blending is all. Is that basically?
Yeah, it's kind of like that pyramid. You know, when you are a band that's going, as I call, unbridled passion, like you're just going full bore. You know, it's easy to get that weight because there's just so much sound coming at you. You know, but when you are trying to make sure everybody's in tune and everybody's blending really well, then it's going to sound good. And it can really hit you in the face really well, but you've got to have something underneath it to support it. And if you have that, that'll really bring out that whole sound. You know, and probably need just a little bit more of that in order to really have that true great sound. But they're on their way. I look forward to seeing them at the Honda.
I guess I think it's the same thing when we came there to Jackson State. You know, that was really important as far as like our trumpet section, our sound. Was, the freshmen, basically, we played in the cash register or, we played, the parts that, we didn't take up anything, but, they were just saying it was important to have that support. So I guess it's basically, like you say, if you got that bottom, then you can have the top or the actual sound. That's kind of like when you were explaining that's the main thing that came to my mind. Is like having that bottom or making sure, definitely in your trumpet section, you got to have people in the cash register, and they got to be cranking just so that your section is actually sounding legit. You know what I mean? You can really with that soprano voice sound 10 and real thin, like you know what I mean. But you definitely have the layer and the depth to it when you have those people in the bottom. So I guess that's essentially the same thing. Having that bottom.
It's all about that bottom, And I do remember my other comment. I remember that they used to make PVU on the field, and with all the trumpets on the V. But now they make PV. It's P and V in the middle, and then U on the left, and then A and M on the right. It's kind of scrambled, and I don't like that at all. Just please go back to PVU.
Their old school logo, though. Wasn't that like their throwback logo?
So was it homecoming or something?
Maybe.
Oh no, they just throw that back. If it's throwback, then throw it back, please, because I wouldn't feel that.
Because, I definitely think about, the trumpets coming down in that triangle or whatever. But, Joshua, if someone out there, if they know y'all break us down, y'all, let us know. But that's outstanding, Rashad, man. You said anything else, though? Anything else?
No, sir, not from this time. I think because I just I really would like it though. For any of your band guys, any band videotape guys that are listening, I hope that you guys are maybe able to form some type of partnership with Joe, so that we can make sure to have all of the videos available. Because Periscope Periscope can kind of mess you up, because yesterday I'm looking at all these videos. Look at all these videos. I can't wait. But then by the time I get ready to sit down and watch them all today, they're gone. They're gone.
Yeah.
So there you go. You start looking on, let me look at bandhead.org. Let me look at YouTube. And you're looking all over the place in order trying to find these videos. And a lot of them are not uploaded yet. But people are there. So, it would be nice if, you guys would be able to, to partner up with Joe and make sure you send a list of all the links of the videos that you guys have done during the weekend, and that way Joe can send them to us, and that way, we can say, we can kind of shout you guys out and say, I saw this, bandtube.org, Bandtube, did this one, we saw Double Time Entertainment, they did the video for this one, so I'm glad I was able to watch that. That would be a win-win, I think.
Yeah, definitely. I know Garrett posted if the videographers had a conference, what city would folks want it to be in, and of course everyone's New Orleans or ATL, or somewhere down south. That I was LA, and come to LA, because that's definitely something that I want to do, is bring something out here very similar with Dr. Davenport. I know that he wants to teach drill. I definitely want him to come out here for those directors out here at Dominguez, Miss Carter, Mr. Al Tarver there at Crenshaw. So we have that bond, and we can keep that going. But definitely, too, so you can come out here and have a good time, too. You know what I'm saying? That's what L.A. is out here for. Ain't too much business going on out here, because, that's...
So are you near L.A.?
I'm about an hour from downtown, so I'm in the burbs or whatever. So
okay.
So whatever we plan or whatever it is, it could be in the city, or the next other city is Palm Springs. If we wanted it more like a resort type of thing, we could do Palm Springs, but we could do L.A. definitely, because it would be fun. Only thing about L.A. is the logistics of getting around, and traffic be off the chain. And
the cost be off the chain.
Man, so yeah. So we'll definitely get something together. We'll have a good time. But as far as maybe doing more, having more fluidity about our activities, it'd probably be better Palm Springs or even Ontario. There's a little spot, Ontario, to have an airport next to my crib. It would be cool to do something there. But the whole area is up for grabs.
So basically, they just gonna meet at your house.
Oh no! We'll pick a place. So maybe it might be at the Loft, or it might be at the Staples.
You try to volunteer people to other people's houses?
No, it wouldn't be
not like you do. So let me tell you about your boy Rashad, Joe. Let me tell you about your boy. He called me the other day talking about. So I had this idea. I think we should all get together at your house and watch band videos. And I'm like,
that's not how I said it. It wasn't heard, though. It wasn't heard.
I said, this ninja. I said, oh no, you didn't. Are you serious?
But you see, Joe, how she tried to turn around and do that same thing to you just now. So, they need to come to your house. See? You see how it turns around?
No, you the one that was bringing. No, Joe was the one talking about something. We can fly at this place that's close to my house, and we can, such and such. So I was not inviting anybody. You the one that inferred that.
Yeah, I was thinking if I forgot something, I could run and get it and come back. That's what I was thinking about. Mm-hmm. But no, I don't want to think about it like that. But But wherever it would be like in a spot where we would all go to when we have to drive around too much, and we'll be in taxis, or we'll have some type of chauffeur, we'll have some type of car service to take us somewhere close. Because that's the other thing, I don't want to do anything where it's in one spot and then we got activities like in Pasadena or something. Everything will be like if it's at Manhattan Beach, which is where I think our district meeting was a couple of years ago, which was really nice. It'll be at, the resort joint at the Manhattan Beach, and then everybody could just kick it around that area. That would be the easiest thing to do. So wherever I'm ready for place, we just want to put some things together. So definitely, Rashad, that's definitely a good idea. Even with us as well, us, maybe having some type of annual event here in California. That's kind of like my dream, bringing a whole bunch of people over here to something in California. So we definitely keep the wheels turning with that. We got about, 10 minutes, if you will. I guess I introduce the next topic of discussions, and then we'll roll, and then we'll just take a break, and then we'll get into it. So let's go through this one first. So I want to give a shout out to Curtis Tarver again. Let me just give him the applause. Again, I met Curtis online, and he's got the blog 80 Minutes of Regulation, and that is the 60 minutes of the football game, but the 20 minutes of halftime. And it's from referees, drum, whistle. Oh, my goodness. From
you know what?
I swear, ref and whistle, seeing them two together right now is like tearing me up.
Were you drinking before you called?
No, I can't drink because my kids are all over me. It's more of I'm more excited because I'm talking to Christy. Time of night. It's from referees whistle to drum majors whistle and back again. Yeah, there it is. So shout out to Curtis. He wrote a really good blog called The Power of Saturdays, and basically talking about the Howard and what they were doing. We talked about them a couple weeks ago. Shout out to all the people who were like, Howard, you need to pump your brakes a little bit. We don't want to get nobody in trouble. You need to be in, blah, blah, blah. And also the University of Missouri. So I guess I have to also give the folks an apology, because I was like, I didn't say it, but I was like, ain't no way in hell that dude going to quit his job. You fools is crazy. I did think that. I didn't say it.
I don't know why. I mean, well, then again, I work in higher ed, so I know. Okay, go ahead.
Well, yeah, but I just really didn't know. But definitely, hey, they were not playing about those athletics and how that benefits the school. So the guy Tim, he resigned and the chancellor resigned as well. So they were very, very happy in displaying the power that they had. So I'm going to post, and also, too, I'm sorry, the chat room is open. I didn't announce that. I was a little late opening it up, so if you guys are listening, and if people usually hear the chat room, hopefully you guys can see it. It is open. But, yes, I'll post that link there in the chat room if you guys want to see his post. But a really good article, a post. He also said, and I wanted to ask you about this, Christy, is the situation at Howard, has that been handled? Because apparently in his blog he was saying Showtime is back in action.
Yeah, I mean, from my understanding, yeah, they were back because they did perform. I did see a little small clip of them. I didn't watch the whole thing, but I did see enough to know that they actually performed. So maybe the administration met their demands, so or at least listened to them or something, because yeah, I mean they're back. So
right, and so it's I guess it is the power of Saturday. Sometimes to all the folks, I guess that were like, hey, you guys need to be careful. I mean, I guess sometimes there is no other course of action, and I'm really glad that I guess no one got hurt or like no one was I'm about to say no one was fired. I mean, I guess someone was fired, but I'm sure he'll be back on the saddle. He'll have a job again. And I think things will be okay. But definitely for the students, man, I was like, man, y'all about to pay for something. I was just really worried. I was scared for them. I did think it was crazy too how now a lot of the backlash are like, oh my God, this is reverse racism, and all the bad things that are actually going on. Because the guy was actually fired. And then, of course, they were showing the students, like, celebrating. I think some of the students were actually swag surfing on campus. Yes, they were swag surfing. So a lot of people did not like those images as well. Like, these kids were partying as that. So, but I guess shout out to you, and I guess shout out to all the people. I guess, they were actually able to get their demands, but really, please check out the post. I think it's really, really good. I don't want to go into too much of what I went into last week because it is a good day. I just hope and pray one day that at these schools they'll care about the black student as much as the black athlete. And I'll just leave it at that. Rashad, did you have anything to say about Mizzou or at Howard? Anything to say about that?
Not a whole lot to say about Missouri. I thought I was kind of in agreement with you, Joe, when you were saying that you didn't think that would be enough for the guy to resign. And the very next day, I mean, it wasn't a long drawn out thing. He was gone the next day.
Yeah.
Wow. And I think that is a really powerful thing, a really powerful message that it sends to a lot of our young people to say that you guys can rally, particularly the ones who are bringing money into the institution. I think that was the powers that be that said, hey, look, you're costing us money, or you're going to cost us money, so you need to go ahead and roll out. I mean, I think it was really just that simple. And so that really empowers a lot of people. As far as Howard was concerned, I have been confused about the whole Howard thing kind of from the beginning because I really didn't get it. Like, they kept saying Silent Howard, but then they kept performing. Like, I have yet to see them not perform. Like, I really thought it would have been a major thing if the band had gone out there and, okay, we're going to perform, and then they go out there and they just stop and stand or put the fist up or just don't march on the field or something, something where, presidents are going, what's going on here? What's going on? And they're fussing, and the band staff is like, I don't have a clue what's going on, something like that. And the whole crowd is booing and, something like that to really get effect. I think that's something that probably, could have gained national attention. I just don't really understand it. I mean, maybe somebody can, I'm ignorant to it, so maybe somebody can help me as far as what was the purpose there. I understand the reason, but I don't understand kind of what they did. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess it was the optics. I know. I think her name Janelle Bree. I had to bring her up because she brought a really good, valid point. I think I would honestly think the way she did if I was like one of those parents, like of the band. Like, all right, man, I understand, but son, just graduate first, and then you could make all the noise you want. I ain't gonna lie, I would probably be like that. But they did do something, and I think that's what scares admins. It's the optics, it's the journalism, it's the attention to your school that either you're a pig, you're a racist, or you be beating on girls. You know what I mean? It's that attention, and then next thing you know, people get your Twitter handle, people get your Facebook page, and then you get death threats. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's like the optics, Rashad, as far as what Howard were doing. They went out in black, and then the hashtag started. So there was some attention, and then the admins immediately worked it out. Very similar, I guess, to what happened at Missouri. Another thing I saw, Jason Whitlock, for all the people who he likes to hit the line in the middle as far as black folks are concerned about a lot of stuff. He actually wrote an article, and it was a good article, just being objective and critically thinking, saying that this guy, Tim Wolf, was already pissing people off. This guy probably was already like someone they didn't want to deal with, and then, of course, the hunger strike started, And apparently, the guy who actually was in the hunger strike, apparently he had actually lied about some of the stuff. I think he said he was hit by a car or something. They said, well, his story didn't check out all the way. I mean, it's crazy on both sides, you know. But one thing I definitely will agree with Miss Bree about is just being careful and vetting out every possible source. And thinking about when you do bring this national attention on yourself, then it's every second of the day you definitely have to be thinking about what you do and your actions. Because I ain't going to lie, I mean, the swag surfing thing, I don't know if I really wanted to see that. And that's just me personally.
I'm sorry, what is that?
Swag surfing, actually something I saw on the East Coast. A guy, I don't know the name of the group, but it's an actual song. And you know, I don't want to break it down because I can't sing like you, Rashad. But swag surfing, you know, it's like you surfing, and then you got like a homie on your shoulders. You got your arm around your boy, and then you be like swaying from like one side to the next. You know, swag surfing. You ever heard of that, Rashad?
Okay. No, I hadn't heard of that, but
yeah, okay. Swag surf. If you hit swag surf and Google up the video, it might come up. He's saying, "Maybe I'm a swag."
Wow.
It's kind of tight. It's kind of catchy. It was a whole bunch of people at the Plaza at Jackson State doing it at homecoming, but it is kind of tight. But these students were doing that in this circle, and like all these like newscasters were like broadcasting that, so it was like they were celebrating. And just people were just going in on these kids, you know what I'm saying? But I don't know if I wanted to necessarily see that either, to be honest with you. But I guess just a lesson with all of that before we go to the next commercial break and we start talking about Shaw and other things, definitely be careful if you are these young people, or I guess to us as well, us as grown folks, definitely vetting out all of the particular sources and all of the things that we want to follow, because it is our jobs, it is our livelihood that's involved. Because, you know, some of us end up paying with it, you know, with our lives. And we definitely do not want that. That's why we have the Marching Podcast, so we can bring some more of attention to the positive nature and music and marching bands and all the things that we don't get enough of optics of in our nation. So let me go ahead and mute Christy and Rashad, and then we'll come back. We're going to talk about Shaw. We're going to talk about Alcorn, and, you know, whatever else you want to talk about. It's the 90 Degree Show. You're free to call in as well, 718-664-6025. Thanks again for listening. We'll be back.
Hello, this is Dr. Joel Beard, Jackson State alumnus, 1966. I march in the Jackson State Marching Band, which is then called the best band in the land. And you are now listening to the 90 Degree Show here on the Marching Podcast Network.
From photo shoots to graduation pictures, from probates to band footage, from pageants to yard shows, there's only one team you can count on, the Edge One Productions. Visit theedge1.com and trust me, you won't be disappointed.
Need to write music and drill? Get it on the field. Outfit your band. Keep your administrator happy and still have a life. Encountering drama in the process, ain't nobody got time for that. Let Block Band Music assist you with musical arrangements and drills to fit your band, and also the equipment, gear, and accessories to keep the visuals, music, and marching on point. Contact blockbandmusic@gmail.com and see how this worldwide minority-owned business can uplift your band.
From photo shoots to graduation pictures, from probates to band footage, From pageants to yard shows, there's only one team you can count on, the Edge One Productions. Visit theedge1.com and trust me, you won't be disappointed.
What if there was a Facebook for bands? Wait a minute, there is. Bandhead.org. Bandhead.org is a social network for HBCU show bands. You can create your own profile and post videos, photos, and comments on Bandhead.org. Need somewhere to post events, audition schedules, job postings? Check out Bandhead.org. Are you recruiting for talent? Go to Bandhead.org. Bandhead.org, a social network for bands.
I'm Julian Johnson, Hampton University graduate, and you are listening to the 90 Degree Show here on the Marching Podcast Network.
All right, we're back in the last segment here, bringing you back with Albany State. Yeah, the audio's there, not the same. It's not them. Not like they weren't loud. The people were loud. It's the tape, y'all. Albany's got good volume, okay? But yes, Albany State bringing us back from the break. Again, I wanted to say this at the beginning. I said it, but if you're interested in being a patron or a sponsor to the Marching Podcast, please contact the show. We'll give you the criteria so we can put up your business using our platform. We'll play your commercial. We'll show your icon during the broadcast. We'll add the tags to each episode so that, people will continue to get the internet hits. And you'll see your show and your business. Post all your information on our blog as well. So contact. Oh, and also your proceeds, as I unmute the microphones, will also go to the scholarships for the National Signing Day for marching bands in April, and also to pub throughout social media the events and the broadcast so that people can listen to the show and also hear about your business as well. So contact us so we can help you build your business, okay? Here in the third segment, our word on the street, we kind of opened it up already. Thanks again for listening to all the folks that are listening tonight here with Christy and Rashad. Just finished talking a little bit about Howard and the University of Missouri and all the things that went on there and the power of Saturdays. I want to give a quick shout out to... Oh, go ahead, Christy. Go ahead.
Can I just say, I know Howard is having their issues with that, but I saw their show. Well, at least a couple songs from it, and they're just kind of having a rough year. I didn't realize things were the way they were. So I really hope that they get whatever's going on with them resolved, because that what I saw on Saturday was not the Howard that I'm used to seeing.
It was that bad?
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, it just looked It just wasn't the standard of Howard that I'm used to seeing.
Christy, you were like, they must still be protesting. That must be what it is.
Somebody actually said that to me. Somebody, and I didn't say it, but somebody actually said that to me. They were like, they protested for that? So, yeah, I mean, that was a mess, yeah.
So, yeah, they definitely are down. Hopefully, they can repair themselves. But again, it's very something. It's something that echoes that Rashad was saying about the black church, and just with marching bands, this being the ambassador for your schools. We talk about sports, and we talk about. You honestly think when you extrapolate it, when any sports guy or any young person or even like the wife or someone that may live with a guy that watches a lot of sports, they just may automatically think LSU and Auburn or something. I think just because you hear it and you see it that many times on TV. You know, you're constantly being flagged with these schools, and it's in your mind. And, again, I think it's why a lot of students, in turn, they say, oh, well, I want to go to University of Alabama. You know, they got this, they got that, you know. So I think it's no different than the same thing. So hopefully the admins definitely understand when your band shows up at these classics, you're making an imprint on someone's life in the crowd, and that may – you know, that student may go to your school or they may go to another black school, but essentially your band showing up and showing out is going to benefit your school. And we're seeing that with Miles mostly now, but it's the investment in the future. And there's, you know, they took all the Cam Newtons away. So now we have our bands, and your band can be huge to actually build the support there for your school. And I think that that's really what needs to be accentuated, and hopefully the admins can definitely understand that it is definitely investment putting in the money towards your band program. Unless you have a better idea, please let us know about bringing in, you know, students, bringing in excitement for your schools. Because, you know, hey, we always say break us down here. Call in, let us know, you know, potential plans, because we know about band can do in people's lives. So I want to actually get into Shaw next, if that's cool with you guys. Checking on the Mecca on the fifth quarter. Someone posted about Shaw's band director going in at the president. So I clicked on the link, and someone posted, and I can't remember who it was, shout out to you, the actual news segment that actually happened there in the area. So Shaw's band director was on the news basically saying, yo, she said this, and she didn't do it, y'all. And they were like, really? How you know, brother? And the brother said, I got it on tape. I was like, dang. So definitely be careful. I didn't know that you could actually, I thought that was illegal. Like you couldn't like even, but I guess if you the press or you a news story, you could put out whatever you want. But I didn't know you could take somebody's conversation and then it could be like broadcast on the air like that. I didn't know. So
it's not admissible in court.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Rashad. Rashad.
Yeah, it's kind of what you said. You know?
Yeah.
It is to do what they want to do. Mm-hmm.
And she was like, that's the quickest way for you to get up out of here. She said it way
basically.
More. Yeah, she said it way more like intelligent than I did. But
he was like, I'll sue you. She was like, try me. And that was a quote, try me. I said, okay.
Yes. She was gangster about it, but it was, again, similar to things being promised, and apparently the news segment says that there was going to be a cut in the scholarships, and of course Shaw is a private school, so I think that the woman said it was $7,500 for the band scholarship, and that was going to be cut.
Well, the thing that gets me is that the director, he wanted to tell those people that he had promised scholarships to, like, this is what's going on, y'all about to get the okie doke. And she, apparently the president wouldn't allow him to contact those students and let them know, which, if it's true, I have a real problem with that. I mean, that's pretty messed up.
Yeah, I definitely think if that was true, I'm thinking that she did that to not hit the backlash, you know, before the season started, or maybe if they find out maybe 2 weeks before the season starts or whatever, maybe it won't be as bad. They withheld the information for some reason. I don't think it was smart, just because you at least have to give those kids some time to come up with that money
Hello?
Yeah, can you hear me? Can you
Yeah.
guys hear me? Yeah, my son yanked out the Ethernet cord out one thing.
Oh,
so,
Lord. See, you know what?
It's off the chain over here. You know, that's the one thing I'm praying for. Order my steps to get me a studio, and and then we'll be great. So, but yeah, that's what trips me out is like maybe, and then like he had it on tape, But I think that's a microcosm. There's probably a lot of this stuff happening all over the place. Maybe that's what happened at Howard. And at least, we're able to support. But it goes back to, I guess, something that Rashad was saying, again, something weeks ago. He started the 100 for Hampton. We have to take it upon, again, ourselves, just like we're building this infrastructure here. We have to then support our own schools as well. So we at least, because unfortunately, we're talking about it, but this is another black school thing. You know what I mean? This is, look what happened. And then, of course, it's on the news, and then you got the two admins going at each other again. The optics, of course, don't look good. However, we can always step in and make a change, support your program, support your alumni association, get to be a part of your alumni association, people. I'm sure those annual dues are not that much. So definitely get a part of your alumni association. If your band has an alumni association or some type of fund, find out annually some type of donation you can give to them as well. Because like we said, we all we got. And, our dollars are not going to come from any other resource. So anything else to say about Shaw, guys? Anything else?
Yes, I'd like to quote Welburn the Great. Again, that's the incredible Welburn the Great. He said, "Get him," because that's exactly what happened there. He got her. He got her. I'm sitting there watching this video, of the recording. I'm like, oh boy, it's like, wow, like that would be interesting to see if she doesn't lose her job. Because that is completely wrong. Like, how are you going to?
She just got there.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah,
I think she's like elect or interim or elect or something like that.
Wow.
Well, what's interesting is that Mr. Brown has been there for 34 years, and the president is 34 years old.
Wow.
Wow. Well, all I know, that's completely bad business. Just like everything that you just said, Joe. How are you going to, tell these kids that they have this money and then they get there and they don't have the money? But like you said, I don't think that's unprecedented. I think it happens from time to time. But in this situation, it got blown up, and he lost his job, or whatever. I wasn't clear on that if he got it back or not at the end. But all I know is that he came with weaponry. And he recorded her saying that, and I'm sure, she might catch a lawsuit over that. Because there's probably young people that could not attend Shaw because they couldn't come up with that additional $7,500 balance, or maybe they had to take out an additional student loan or personal loan. That's wrong. When all he had to do was just say, listen, I don't have the money. We hope that you'll still come, but, here's the situation. That's the right thing to do. Why would you not do that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm definitely interested to see like the why they wanted to withhold the information. There was something, there was some reason why they wanted to withhold the information. But again, that retention, something again that's coming up, and Shaw's not cheap. Just like Smith is not cheap. So. Shout out to Sammy Glover. I know from Augusta, Georgia. He was in the band with me. I'll never forget. We were talking, and that was one of the things I was like, man, if you go to Jackson State, your scholarship is like much more than tuition, And a lot of my friends was like, they toughed it out. But I know Sammy, he's over 100,000. This was some years ago, so he might be in the 90s now. Who knows? But 100,000 for student loans. Our own president and the first lady have, had a lot in student loans. But man, that's just really, really tough again, you just have to just have the admins just believe in the cause, where it's actually you are going to get this money back if you invest it here, because when, especially this bad business, I mean that's too bad. But we'll see what happens with that again in the future. We'll be watching it. Anything else, Rashad? Anything else about the Shaw incident or anything else?
Nothing else. I am interested to see how that plays out, though. I really am, because that was some bad business, and I hope Mr. Brown is able to get his job back if he doesn't already have it back.
Nice. Christy, anything else about Shaw or anything else? Anything else about previous things we talked about? I do have one last thing. It's something poor Howard. I do have one last thing about Howard, because I wanted to see if I get some information, you guys, about it. But anything else about things we previously talked about, Christy?
Well, we didn't really talk about the young lady at Alcorn that was on the news about the hazing that was going on, and they showed a video of her getting basically beat down by some alleged band members at Alcorn, and she was just really messed up about it. So I'm like, you dummies. You don't learn anything. Like, it's only been, you know what? Actually, it was 4 years ago when the FAMU thing went down. Like, you big dummy. It was 4 years ago around. It was this week, because this is the week of the Florida Classic. But yeah, I'm like, are you ridiculous? I just can't. I can't.
So what I was kind of surprised at is that this was on tape.
Yeah, there's a news clip on her. There's a news clip with her and the young lady who, said these things happened to her, and then they showed a little video of it. It was cell phone footage, but it was a video, and they were like, this girl was getting initiated into like the band, Yeah.
Wow. So I haven't heard anything more than that. I did see the video, but I haven't heard anything happen to Alcorn, like the president come in and like getting fired.
I hadn't heard anything from it.
That's
the
really
university is kind of like, oh, we're going to look into this, because a few years back, it's like as soon as they have any evidence of that at all, would have been like, oh, we're going to shut down the band program.
Yeah.
And
we're gonna get rid of the flag squad.
Sometimes they would do it prematurely too.
Yeah, I think it was just maybe 2 years ago or just last year there was an incident with the J-Sets, I believe, with like hazing or something. But yes, no, and that's a trip too. I actually was talking to somebody about this. Like, what gets media attention? I mean, and you know what? This is actually rolling into something else we could get. I didn't think it was gonna roll into the show tonight, but if you black and you changed your thing to France, you might have heard something about it. If you change your profile pic on Facebook to France, a lot of black folks was getting hit up. You know what I mean? Where it's like, oh, you supporting France, but what happened to Kenya a couple months ago? It's hard to get behind anything. And then it's like, what makes more news more important than the other? That's really hard, because now this whole thing happened at Alcorn. Maybe some stuff should be done about it, but we're not hearing anything. We don't even hear like the national media destroying Alcorn, or it's like chance for the president to get fired or anything like that. It's just, what actually sparks media attention. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm kind of curious about that myself.
Yeah, so, but yeah, I mean, even the whole band has. I heard more about the Miles thing this morning than like anything that's going on at Alcorn. And mind you, it's Alcorn. You know what I'm saying? So when people, they be like, oh, at Alcorn. Well, you know what I'm saying? It's just kind of how it is. Prayers out to you. I hope everything goes okay. I hope, no one gets in trouble for that, and I hope that, they deal with the situation. But yeah, if anyone knows anything about it, they can definitely call in and let us know. The last thing. Oh, go ahead, Rashad.
Yeah, let me ask real quick. So was Alcorn going to Honda this year?
I think they are. Yeah.
So what would happen if Alcorn wasn't going to Honda this year? You're like, what if based off of that, now that there is media attention on it, what if they suspended the band program? What would happen then? I guess they would have to find another band, to bring in.
I think it would probably be 7 bands.
They wouldn't bring no one else.
Instead of 8.
Wow. Do you guys think they should get in trouble though? Not because of what happened, but just because.
I think the students that did the beating should get in trouble. And I don't even, because it was a straight up, it was a beat down.
Wait, hold up. Actually, I didn't see, even though that shouldn't have happened, I said the homegirl was holding her own because she actually was the one that was standing up. Because what I saw was somebody launched at her, and all of a sudden that person was on the ground, and she was on top of them. If I remember that correctly, because she was a tall girl with big blonde afro. And the one with the blonde afro was the one that was, beating down Ronda Rousey.
I need to check that out. I need to see. I had to check that out to see because I just stop taping it, y'all. That's not cool to have on tape and have that stuff get out and stuff going to the cloud nowadays. And they are tracking way more things through our cell phones than we probably really understand. So stop taping all of that stuff. You know what I mean?
And my thing is that, not necessarily, I would be glad, of course, that something like that was caught, on video, but you guys just tape everything.
I know.
It's like there's no common sense. It's like I'm sitting there, scrolling through my Facebook page, and you can see anybody's neighborhood fight. You can see, people breaking into other people's houses. They break into your house and record them doing it. You just dumb. Like, why would you record that?
That's definitely the first place the police check. You know what I mean? Is definitely social media. And also, too, you have to remember, folks our age, we're from the Menace to Society era. And O-Dog, man, that tape got O-Dog in just too much trouble. So you don't really see us taping stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Because we know. So to you young millennials, stop taping everything. Because, y'all on TV with everything. It's just not good. I want to ask you guys one thing, because when I was looking up Silent Showtime, I also found homeless at Howard. Have you guys heard about this story or this hashtag?
I did.
Okay, so do you know anything about that, or has anything happened since that, Rashad?
I don't know about the outcome of it, but basically, for those who don't know, apparently a student broke a rule on the campus, which was you don't let anybody in through the emergency exit. And a couple people are coming over for a party for someone else, and so he opened the door for them. And the next day, he got a notice that said your housing has been terminated. So now he doesn't have housing. He's still enrolled as a student, but doesn't have housing. And my feeling on that, coming from Hampton, where out by 5 was the common terminology at the school, if you do anything, that's why I would never, ever, ever get in a fight or anything while I was in school at Hampton. Never, ever. Because you would be out by 5 the next day. And so I kind of get it. You know what I mean? It's like, if there was some rule that at Hampton they said, do not break this rule or you will be out. If I broke the rule, I would have been out. And I guess the difference is they only took his housing. At Hampton, you'd have been out of school. They would have put you out of the school. So I feel for the brother, that he doesn't have a place to stay. But there are places to stay. There is the ability to get an apartment and all those type of things. I think it is tough. It's tough. but those rules are there, for a reason. Unfortunately, and sometimes people get caught. So I hate that he went through that, but I hope he's able to get some other type of housing, and just continue to finish his matriculation at Howard.
Christy, anything on homeless at Howard? Have you heard anything about it?
Yeah, I mean, I heard about it briefly, and I mean, to me, I just feel like, I mean, I didn't go to Hampton University where the rules were, they had such hardcore rules, but now that I'm on the other side working in student affairs, I will have to say, well, didn't the student let those, he opened the doors for people after the hours, right?
Right.
Is that what happened?
Yeah, he broke the rule, and he even himself had posted on Twitter like his remorse that he didn't do what he was supposed to do.
Was that his first offense, or was that
it was his first offense as well. That was. I'll read some of what his post was. He posted this, and then newswoman Tisha Lewis from DC actually retweeted it. And then it got retweeted 37 times. So I think that's what kind of birthed the whole homeless at Howard. But, yes, he said that it was the violation of the Bethune Annex emergency exit. He said that he visited several campus authority figures and that he was fully accepted his mistake and at every opportunity conveyed remorse and offered a recertification possible for his actions, but he just was met with basically with what Rashad was saying, that we have to follow this rules. But he said adamantly, basically, this is my very first offense. Please help me out, essentially. And then of course there's a picture of him like sitting on the bench with all of his stuff. So
well, it's his first offense. I mean, darn. I mean, there needs to be. Well, okay, if it's his first offense and he's getting kicked out of school, kicked out of the residence hall for that, did it specify in the handbook, the student handbook, or the student regulations that he was supposed, you only get one go? Because if it's not in the student handbook, I don't know. I don't know why he doesn't have a place to live.
And it's funny, Rashad, you say that without going into too much. I definitely know how Howard or how Hampton is and how strict they were after what happened with me. With that being said, I do remember, them not really tripping about what I was saying, but definitely that they had to follow the rules for the integrity of the rule. And that,
right.
Just like Rashad was saying, like, we understand what happened. This may have been a little bit different, but because of what happened and because of that article about Kimba's nightmare and all that stuff like that, they were not budging in the least bit. So for some reason, that's what Howard is doing to this dude. And I don't know. Go ahead, Rashad.
What's Kimba's nightmare?
You don't know about Kimba's nightmare, Rashad? You went to Hampton, man. Well, you probably don't know because that was you went to Hampton in '95, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, in '96, when I was at the pre-college, that was the platform of that year, and it was zero tolerance for anything at Hampton University with drugs or anything like that. And they had an article in the Emerge magazine, Kimba's Nightmare. It was about a girl who went to Hampton and met this guy from New York, this Jamaican dude, who was using her as a mule up and down the East Coast.
Oh, right. I remember that.
And, it went through all of this stuff. And then it was eerie where, like, she then got out of Hampton and then she went to Johnson C. Smith, which is like the same place I went. Same order too. So she was there, and then the guy was murdered, or of course the feds came in and they came and got her, and basically found out it was her moving up and down the East Coast for this guy, and they sentenced her to 24 years in prison. And then, like, when she got the prison sentence, she was pregnant. So it's like she had the baby. I believe she had the baby and then had to go to prison. So I think she's still in prison now. But that was the story that they were telling us there at the pre-college, where they was like,
to scare y'all.
Yes, this ruined her life, and we are not gonna have it. I mean, they weren't playing. So that was the Kimba's nightmare thing. That was so again, like when you said out by 5, that was, I mean, they were strict about that. There, and again, it was like, you know, I think I had a decent excuse, but just like you said, they were like, we have to follow the rules. You know, so I would definitely like to know what happened. HBCU Pride Nation, actually, it says we rescind our offer of housing from, I guess they offered the guy housing and they rescind our offer from housing. This was posted on the 10th. They said that they first heard the story and they were outraged, and at the time they knew no specifics of the matter, but that the student, one of our own, had nowhere to go, and they stepped in to bring attention to the matter. The social media campaign allowed them to garner the attention to the Howard alums who offered a 3-bedroom home free of charge for the remainder of the 2015-2016 school year. We found a solution within 12 hours of the story's release. Then they said after a careful discussion with the board, the prospective donor, and the communications team, they must rescind the offer of the housing. Yes, while they love and support any student.
I need to know what's in that student handbook. That's what I need to know. Because are there student conduct rules? You know, because if it's a first offense, I mean, darn, they don't have like a student, you know, student council or a judicial something or other. They don't have anything like that in place.
And I wonder why none of that was triggered with this whole situation, because this post from HBCU Pride is from the 10th, so it was 5 days ago. So maybe there'll be more about it.
I could see if he brought some like drugs up in there, but come on, man.
If it was Joe Clark, like he was like Joe Clark, he ain't want nobody coming up in the school. Or I guess that's
that's right. Go 10. Don't get me to start quoting Lean on Me. That's one of my favorite movies.
I know, that's the
Get them chains off the door.
And she had him on tape too. She had him on tape too. Had him recorded.
There you go.
But okay. So let me read this right quick, y'all, because I want to ask you guys any shout-outs you have before we close the show. They said that they love and support any student with the courage to combat what they feel and the injustices in their school policies. We simply cannot be in the middle of this fight. As an organization, our only focus was the student's safety and well-being. Our focus was his housing. And then now they say numerous attempts to reach the student for our donors, and then coupled with his disappointment at the proposed housing. Wow. So he says now that the student doesn't share their focus. So I guess shout out to HBCU Pride Nation for trying to help, but they actually had to step in and say that they couldn't get in the middle of it, and they had to take it away. I wonder if they presented this and then someone at Howard or the powers that be, someone came in there and said, yeah, you messing this up for us, brother. You need to take that back. You know, like he said, they couldn't get in the middle. Some pressure from the other side turned up in there. You know what I mean? I wonder what that was.
I think they just finally found out the situation. You know, homeless at Howard sounds really bad. You know what I mean? Like, oh, man. You know, and I think they probably just jumped on it until they found out, nah, he broke a rule. And, you know, he wasn't supposed to be broken. And it wasn't really a good reason. Like he said, his reason was he opened the door because somebody else was celebrating a birthday. You know, it's kind of like, it infers that, you know, I didn't do it for me. I did it for somebody else.
Right. Not owning it. Right.
You know, it's like, I kind of feel like once they found out really that's the reason why it happened, they're like, nah, sorry. Yeah. Can't help you. I might be wrong on that.
But definitely is definitely some pressure, and I guess we'll definitely get some more information, I'm sure, as time develops. We'll definitely talk about it. Christy, we got a really quick time. Anything the listeners should know about you coming out this week, or anything else coming up for you on the radar?
Well, this weekend, it's a lot of rivalries coming up because it's the end of the season and all that. And so A&T plays Central. I'll be North Carolina Central, not Central State, but North Carolina Central, and I'll be there. And also, if you're interested in hanging with us at the Fifth Quarter Skybox, just email me. My email is Christy, Christy, 5, and the letter Q is in Queen, at gmail.com, and I can give you all the details. And one last thing, there will be a get-together at Rashad's house. It will be a band tape party at Rashad's house, and more details will be coming later.
That's right. Go ahead and give him the address, Christy. Give him the address.
Oh, okay.
Give him the address.
I won't put him on Front Street like that, but just email me so I can send out your address.
Right.
Address.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Rashad, you got anything coming up other than you hosting the big party? Anything else other than the party?
As long as you don't mind watching the TV from the bathroom, I mean, that's...
Ew.
We just want people to know that Block Band is a year-round business. We're not just your marching band company. We're not just doing your marching band arrangements. People are going into the Christmas parades. We've got a lot of Christmas parade music, but we also have a lot of Christmas concert band music and a lot of concert band music in general. We've got some really great stuff. We just had an arrangement of. Speaking of all this stuff, associated with black colleges, the original black college movie, School Days, and of course Lawrence Fishburne, ends the movie saying, "Wake up!" And if you can remember the music that was playing in the background to that, one of our customers requested somebody to do that. And so we had one of our arrangers to come through and actually do a concert band arrangement of that song, which is really, 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 really awesome. So, we are your concert band group as well. Martin Luther King Day is coming up as well, guys. So you got to be ahead of the game. We've got Martin Luther King. We've got a happy birthday arrangement of Happy Birthday by Stevie Wonder, as well as
Sing Celebrate.
We don't have that. I'm not familiar with that one, but I will look into that.
We do have. It's only 2 MLK jams. It's either Happy Birthday or Sing Celebrate. That's all I know is Sing Celebrate.
Okay. Well, we actually have.
It's the one with Curtis Blow rapping in it or something like that. Yeah. Okay. Anyway.
I think that sounds.
Oh. Okay.
But we do have an arrangement of Lift Every Voice and Sing actually done for parade version. It's like a jazzy version of that as well. So we have that. But like I said, again, we have plenty of concert band music. We got your reeds, your mouthpieces, your method books, everything. So we hope that band directors will support this minority-owned business that supports them.
That's really good, Rashad. That's really cool. Having that, that's actually... I actually thought about that. I know that you post like the YouTube songs or something, but then you guys can sit down and, write that out. I think that's really cool. I really like that. So a lot of songs I always hear, and I'm like, man, that'd be a really good band song. Man, that would be the bomb if they play this. But it's really cool that your company actually puts that into existence. So that's actually really cool. A lot of Dru Hill songs. Dru Hill, man, be making some band songs, man. So, I don't know, maybe I should just tell you some of the songs I'll be thinking about. Maybe just Block Band, just put them out there, man. I don't know. But, again, you guys, thanks again. I'll close out the show with you guys because now the little English lady is telling me 60 seconds and stuff. So, I really appreciate you guys being on the show this year. We have a couple more left. I know these last couple of weeks are like off and on because of football. So like we got the Soul Bowl and we got the rivalry week and then we got the Honda coming up. So again, thanks again for being on the show this year. you're interested in being a sponsor or a patron to the Marching Podcast, please contact us. We'll give you the criteria so we can start to sub your business using our platform. Okay? That's all the time we have for the show tonight. Check out the website and donate what's in your heart to themarchingpodcast.com. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. Thank you for listening. And remember, the lectures you deliver may be very fine and true, but I'd rather get my lesson by observing what you do. See you next time.